Hello, sports fans. Dr. Palermo, your MELS 605 instructor, taking a break from basketball to talk to you about this week eight instructional video and some brief instructions. We're over halfway through your last semester in the MELS program. You are, as a group, doing well, keeping up with your submissions to Blackboard. How about in task stream? Have you been in touch with your clinical coach? Has he or she been in touch with you? Are you completing your evidences in the competency folio? Your last two evidences were this CAP and SIAP that you've submitted to me. Majority of you have done that and done a proficient job on it as your peers have told you. Please get those things cleaned up and into task stream. By the end of this month, by the end of March, you should have a completed folio in task stream. Now, in the past, that's been primarily the artifact evidences, but you are also to load legacy students completing this program. You've been asked to load a dozen or so competency evidences. Again, this week, I'm going to suggest a couple of things that I think would be good evidence of your competency on those 21 North Carolina standard competencies. So at any rate, the readings this week are in Glickman chapter 14 and Hersey chapter 10. The first one is Hersey and situational leadership and constructive discipline. Now, when Hersey is writing this, he's talking about supervisors disciplining employees or folks under their supervision with tips like be timely, vary your emotional level, focus on the performance, on the behavior, not how you feel about it. Be specific, do your homework, keep it private. Punishment and negative reinforcement. What we want to do, okay, these are all really important things to do when you are disciplining an employee. And as a principal or assistant principal, you will have to, this is the bottom end of that range of supervision. We're not helping people get better at this point. We're documenting the bad things that they might be doing in order to probably help them get gone. But again, the same principles apply to disciplining a student, I think. And I spent a lot of my time in administration, for better or for worse, engaged in student discipline. I was an assistant principal for many years, and I would have to say that 75–80% of my day, week in and week out, was taken with discipline investigations and stuff. Now, maybe your school is different. I hope that it is, but a little bit of student discipline can take up a whole lot of your time. So these are good practices for how to address discipline with a student as well as with an employee, I think. So constructive discipline. Take a look at what it says there and then see if you can shadow an assistant principal or somebody doing discipline at your school. Take notes on it, observe, and write it down. Don't violate anyone's confidentiality, please, and well, be careful about that. If you are already doing discipline as part of your internship or as part of your many duties at the school, write it up. That is, reflect on it and then show how this might be meeting one or more of these standards, of these competencies. For instance, if you were observing a discipline conference, that's conflict management, folks. It might also fit under emotional intelligence, responsiveness, sensitivity. I don't want to get into telling too many stories, but the things that I learned speaking with children one-on-one about discipline blew my mind. I became a social worker at that point. I became a mediator. Oftentimes there were really good reasons why kids got in fights or had problems at school. And oftentimes it was home stuff spilling over into school. So you're going to gain a lot of experience doing that. Anyway, Hersey and constructive discipline is a big idea this week. And the other big idea is Glickman, chapter 14, program evaluation. If you check out Glickman, in my text, it is on page 187, overall instructional program evaluation. Hello, this sounds an awful lot like your SIAP. You have done program evaluation. And I've asked you here to take a look at one program like PBIS. Maybe it's a reading program, maybe it's an after-school program at your school, and think about and just outline in bullet form using using some of the material from Glickman about who's performing the evaluation, what questions are you asking, what data are you gathering, how's the data analyzed, how are you reporting the results. Again, it's 187 would give you a decent outline for those 6 or 8 bullet points. Don't need to go into it in great depth, but I would like you to name a program, think about it, and write it up if you were doing the program evaluation here. And again, if you have done this type of work, if you can show evidence of it, then where does that fit under the competencies? And again, maybe it's simply loading part of your SciApp in order to show that. To me, program evaluation is change management, is customer focus, it's results orientation. It would certainly fit there. Systems thinking. These are all competencies that you are demonstrating if you'll step back and reflect and think about it a little bit. So your SciApp is due to TaskStream. Again, all of your final pieces are due to TaskStream soon if you haven't already put them there. Next week is spring break on the Gardner Webb campus, and in order to make the schedule work, many of you have spring break some other time. This is where I'm inserting spring break. So this could be a good opportunity for you to get caught up. If there are a few of you who are lagging a little bit on submissions to Blackboard, get caught up next week. And you won't have a video or any new information from me next week. This is a chance for you to get caught up. And then once you get caught up in Blackboard, do make sure that you're loading all of your stuff into TaskStream. If you have a question about that, I urge you to contact your clinical coach immediately. That's all for me this week. I hope you have a great week, and go Heels.